Hello there, this is Dr. Dell, and this is going to be a dozen tips for success in the study and the mastery of mathematics. Well, first of all, the overriding tip is that repetition and practice are the real key to success in mathematics, just as it would be in any subject you want to master, whether it's music or sports or any other subject that you want to master. Okay, well, the very first thing I like to do when I'm learning a new topic in mathematics is I just want to read the notes on that topic. I don't expect to understand the notes when I just read them for the first or second time, but I want to get familiar with them. I want to get an idea of what is being discussed. Okay, so let's take an example. Let's suppose you're studying the Practical Math Foundation Tiers 1 and 2, and suppose you're ready to learn a new topic, and I just picked one out sort of at random. This would be the notes for algebra. This is A7, and this is the notes. Now, like many books, this is not really designed purely for self-study. This is really designed to go along with some type of an explanation by the teacher, which in our case would be me explaining it to you on a video, but I follow these notes as I explain it. So I'd want you to just read these notes and sort of see, do you get an idea of what they're about? And there may be things about him you don't understand. You go, well, I wonder what he means by that, or maybe you do understand it, and play around a little bit with it. And really what you're trying to do here is get familiarity. Now, do not be frustrated or discouraged because as you read these notes, you don't understand them the first or even the second time through. What should happen is you'll understand them when you watch the video, which is, of course, going to be the next thing we're going to tell you to do. And the same thing applies if you're learning notes out of a book. So for example, if you're in Tier 3 or Tier 4 out of Dr. Simmons' book, and we're going to cover a topic, let's say in this example, we're going to talk about roots and radicals. Then again, read the notes out of Dr. Simmons' book once or twice or three times, read them. Kind of familiarize yourself with it. Some of it you'll understand, and some of it you won't understand. It won't be completely clear, but you'll be now ready to better prepared to take your lesson either from a live teacher that's teaching it to you or from the video if you're learning it from me. Okay, now once you've read the notes, you sort of prepared yourself to watch the video or take the lesson from the live teacher if that's how you're doing it. Now the nice thing about the video is that you can pause the video and you can back it up. So as you're watching me explain things on the video, I want you to be working along with me, which I'll be talking about in step 3. But you can, if you don't understand something, back up the video and watch it again. Of course, you can watch it as many times as you need to until you finally understand it. Now, part of watching this video is to pause and do the things I'm doing so that you can actually do the same problems I'm doing, use your calculator the way I'm using it till you thoroughly understand it. And once you've done that, then you're ready to try the exercises because the exercises are going to test whether you understood what you've now learned from the video, from me, and from the notes. Now, if there's an exercise that's confusing for you, then what I would do is go back to the video and try to find the spot in the video that might explain what it is you're not understanding, and then come back and try the exercise. Now you want to repeat this process until you finally can do these exercises easily and confidently. So these are the things that you're going to do. Read the notes to get yourself prepared, watch the video, pause, work the problems along with me, then do the exercises on your own. Go back and watch the video some more if you need to, and you're going to loop through this until you feel like you're now confident with the exercises. Now I want to give you a couple of just general things that you need to be aware of. Whenever you're learning mathematics, just like if you're learning to play music or a sport, mistakes are to be expected. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. That's part of the learning process. Do not get frustrated or discouraged or mad or angry when you make mistakes. That's going to happen. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. I have a PhD in mathematics, and I've studied mathematics off and on now for all of my life. And let me tell you something. I have made many mistakes. But the nice thing is when you make mistakes, then you learn from them. Now, sometimes you get confused when you're trying to study something. You've watched a video a couple of times. You've tried some exercises. You're just confused. Take a break. Sleep on it. Let your subconscious mind go to work. We don't know quite how this works, but it does work. Because very often after you've taken a break and come back and maybe you've slept on it, Then when you return, all of a sudden it clears up. And things that were confusing to you all of a sudden are clear. And in fact, sometimes you say, well, I wonder why I was having problems with that. Now it's easy. Now, there's no one rule. Certain topics will take you longer to learn, and you'll work longer. You'll have to review more. You'll have to go back and forth more. Some will come quick and easy. That's just the way it is, and that's just par for the course. So those are two general things you need to understand. Now, when you finally believe that you have mastered this material on this topic, and you can do these exercises easily, that's sort of how you know, then take the quiz. And that'll demonstrate to yourself, and whoever else cares, that you do understand the topic, and now you're ready to move on. Because recall that learning math is like climbing a ladder. You don't really want to go on until you've mastered this, because this may be necessary for the next thing you learn or something further down the road. So it's very important you not skip things, particularly if it's been properly prepared, as I believe we've done in our training in the Practical Math Foundation and in the upper tiers. Now let's suppose that you've done everything that we've said so far, and you've really worked on it, and you've gone to the video several times, you've tried the exercises, and you're still somewhat confused. Well, then you're going to need some outside help. Now, we provided a forum where you can go and ask questions. And so I encourage you then to go to that forum and ask a question about what it is that is confusing you, what problem you can't do, or what technique you can't learn, or what definition you don't understand. And as a matter of fact, I encourage you to answer questions that other students ask on the forum. Now, it turns out that if no one answers your question on the forum, if some other student or teacher that's in the forum doesn't answer your question, then, of course, you need to get help from the teacher. And if you have a teacher available, you go to the teacher and ask the teacher. If that doesn't work and you haven't gotten answers on the forum, I'll intervene and I'll answer your question for you. I will guarantee you that you will get an answer. If 2 or 3 days go by and no one's answered this question on the forum, you be sure that that's called to our attention. We monitor the forum, and we'll probably catch it anyway, and I'll go on the forum and answer your question. And if it turns out that it's something that really requires more than just an answer on the forum, I may make a special video for that, especially if a lot of students are having trouble with the same concept or topic or thing. I'm always glad to make another explanatory video and add to that as a supplement for those of you that might be struggling. So there is absolutely no reason why you can't learn mathematics and get your questions answered. Now, like I said, you should also go to the forum and answer questions that other students are asking. And the reason is, if you help explain a topic to another student, that's going to help you understand it and learn it better. In fact, I've often said that I don't really feel I fully understand something until I've taught it to some other people. I started tutoring my fellow students when I was in high school, and that's really what got me going in math. I would help them, they would help me, and that helped me become a teacher. I continued that on through college and graduate school, and really then the rest of my life. And I pretty much earned my living all my life now helping other students learn mathematics and related topics. So taking turns explaining things with each other, if you have a group you can work with, is very, very helpful. And now I want to tell you something that's extremely important. Do not assume that you cannot understand and master mathematics just because it's taken you time and repetition. That is to be expected. Would you expect to learn to play a musical instrument just overnight and quickly and easily? Or would you expect to have to practice and make a lot of mistakes and sometimes have setbacks and then try and try again before you mastered it? Well, that's pretty much true of anything that's worth doing, whether it's playing a musical instrument or learning mathematics or learning science or becoming good at being a poet or becoming good at business or whatever. You're going to have to really work and practice. A great basketball coach once said that the will to win in basketball is overrated. Everybody wants to win, but the will to practice and to sacrifice and do all the work you have to do to win, that's what is lacking in a lot of people. And quite frankly, if you don't have that, if you're not willing to work and put in the time and the repetition that is required for you, then you're probably not going to learn mathematics. And that'll apply to anything you do in your life. If you're not willing to work at it and practice, you're probably not going to learn. Now, this is normal. This is our human condition. We're all in this boat. I'm in this boat. I've had to really, really put a lot of time in. And in fact, Everybody experiences this, even those that don't admit it. Some people would like to pretend that it comes easy to them, and it does come easier to some people than others. I'll admit that. Some people can learn to play a musical instrument quicker and easier than others, but very often they're practicing behind the scenes in ways you don't see, and so all you're seeing is the surface of it. And you think that it's coming easier to them than it really is, because a lot of people don't want to admit the mistakes they've made and how hard they've had to work. Now, finally, here's very important. You've got to set up a habit for yourself. And this applies to anything you're going to learn and master in life. I don't care what it is, whether it's cooking or architecture or mechanic, being a good mechanic or being a scientist or an engineer or anything, a poet. You need to work on it a little bit every day. Now, you don't need to work 8 hours a day. I recommend that you work 30 minutes to an hour every day on it. So occasionally you can work more, and occasionally you can skip a day. But by and large, try to hit that every day. If you try to wait and cram this in at the last minute for a test or some meeting you're going to have, you're almost surely going to fail. Do not wait and try to cram into the last minute. You cannot master anything worth mastering that way, and that applies to mathematics just like it would apply to music or sports or anything else. This is just the human condition. Cramming doesn't work for almost anyone. Some people can do it better than others and get away with it, but by and large, it's a failed process. So you've got to get yourself in the habit. Now, you may say, oh, I don't want to spend 30 minutes to an hour every day on math, 4 days, 5 days a week. Well, that's fine, but then you're not going to probably master math. And, of course, math, as you should know, is the key to many, many, many other fields. Math underlies science and engineering and architecture and landscaping and just all sorts of things. There's many, many things you need to know math. And in fact, math is sort of the foundation for all those things. So it's very well worth your putting 30 minutes to an hour a day in. If you have to give up a little TV time or Facebook time or video game time or whatever, that's okay. You need to do that and develop that habit. And then if you do that, and if you follow these other things I suggested to you and don't get frustrated when you make mistakes and don't worry about temporary setbacks, you will master math. It's been in my experience that out of every 100 students, 95 of them are quite capable of mastering math. Once in a while, somebody has a learning disability. If you can't remember anything, if your memory is just no good and you can't remember, well, then it's true. You're not going to be able to learn math and a lot of other things, and that's a sad thing for you. But that applies to very few people. You will be successful. You will learn mathematics. And once you do, it's going to open up a whole world to you for a satisfying career and a really high-paying job. So this is Dr. Dell. I wish you really good luck. If you'll follow these 12 suggestions and tips, I assure you that you'll be very successful.